Welcome everyone. I'm Nancy, the exercise physiologist in the Zakim Center for Integrative Therapies and Healthy Living. Today we're going to be doing a lower body focused workout. So you're probably going to want a chair to use for balance, although a wall would also be totally fine. You may want a weight to hold for one of the lower body exercises. That is up to you. We are going to be laying on our side on the floor, so I like a little bit of support for under my head. So other than that, really not much in the way of equipment. So I'm going to get us marching in place here. Just going to do a brief warm-up. Goal of this video is to be sort of short and sweet, that when time is of the essence, you can get in a really quick workout. But knowing that, you may find that the warm-up is a little bit on the shorter side for you and you might need a little bit more, and to always feel free to add on to it. We're gonna march a little wider, and then we're gonna bend one knee and then the other. Just getting the blood flowing a little bit more in that lower body. Seeing how the front and back of the thighs are feeling, your knee joint itself. We'll do 3 more each side, 2 more, 1 more. Now we're gonna do a tap and a reach. Gonna get those arms moving. Gonna get the upper body feeling ready, although this is mostly a lower body focused workout. Always good to kind of kick the cobwebs off the upper body a little bit. So you're gonna notice I'm reaching in different directions. Let's do 3 more each way. 2 more, 1 more. We'll march in place again. So hopefully that got you a little bit warmer. And we're gonna dive into our first exercise. So the first exercise is a lateral lunge or a side lunge. So you could hold a weight for this. It is by no means necessary. You're gonna get plenty of work without it, but I'll show you it in case you want to try it. So your good feet are going to start wider than your hip distance. And then from there, essentially as wide as you can comfortably go from an inner thigh perspective and safely go from a footwear and flooring perspective. So the first exercise, we're going to be lunging to the right. So you could hold one weight in nice and close here. We're gonna lunge this way. We're gonna lunge over and then back. So I'm bending, into this case, my right knee, and then keeping my left leg straight. I'm trying to ensure that my right knee lands more or less over my right ankle. So you want to be wide enough. If you're really narrow and trying to do this, your knees are really probably not going to be particularly happy with you. Over your ankle, but making sure that both of your feet stay firmly planted into the ground. So you want to make sure as you lunge this way that you don't roll off your big toe. So be mindful. For that one, we have 2 more to this side. We'll lunge over, come on back up. We'll do 1 more lunge over and back up. Now, we're gonna go ahead and go in the other direction. We're gonna bend into the left knee and back up. So I'm gonna turn to the side here so that you can see we're trying to keep our upper body as upright as we can. Now you will notice that I am leaning forward some amount. But by keeping my eyes up, that is helping me to maintain an upright posture. If I start to look down, then guess what? I'm much more likely to have my whole body sort of follow suit there. So I'm doing my best, again, is to stay upright. So on the other side, we talked about the importance of the big toe of this foot, but we also want to pay attention to the opposite side, to the pinky toe side of this foot, so that both feet are, again, staying grounded. We have 1 more to this side, over and back. All right, great work. Hopefully you felt those inner thighs, maybe a little bit of quad. We're gonna go ahead and put our weight down if you had it. And we're gonna incorporate some legs and then some balance here. So I'm gonna use my chair. Again, a wall is probably fine, but for picture's sake, I'm gonna use a chair. So I'm standing next to the chair. My left leg is gonna stay on the ground. My left hand is gonna stay on the chair. So you have a couple options with your right hand. You could start with your right arm up, and then you're going to attempt to side bend and connect right elbow and right knee. And then you're gonna come back up. So you have a couple of options. If the overhead movement doesn't feel good in your body, you could put your hand on your shoulder and still aim to get your elbow in the direction. It may not also connect, and that is fine. So we have arm options. From a leg option, you decide how high your leg comes. It may be uncomfortable to come above hip height, so stop at whatever height you can do pain-free. Well, we're looking to get a bit of a side bend. This is gonna work into our waist muscles, and it's gonna work our hip flexor muscles. So we're getting kind of a lot of bang for our buck here. We get a nice potentially stretch at the top. One more, all the way over, and back. I'm gonna switch the side the chair's on here. So now the right leg is gonna stay planted, the right hand on the chair or the wall. Arm comes up, and now we hinge over, and back. So I'm gonna encourage you to use your chair or wall liberally. Sometimes with balance, I'm encouraging you to focus more on not using a source of stability. For these are pretty challenging, and I would rather have you use this chair a little bit more so that you can get the hinge and the side bend, you can get the pause, because if I let go, it's gonna be a lot harder for me to stabilize and really hold that pose the entire time. You can also change the direction of your knee. It might feel better coming a bit more forward. It might feel better coming a bit more out to the side. And only you know that. And it's just sometimes in some positions your hip will sort of click or pop, have that sensation. So please just modify around that. One more, over and back. Okay, so we've already got a lot done in just 2 exercises. Inner thighs, hip flexors. So we are going to transition to the floor for this next exercise. Okay, so you're going to notice here now that we're on the floor, I grabbed some support for under my head. For most of you, a pillow, maybe a blanket, because we're going to be lying on our side. So I tend to be a fan of having some support under your head as opposed to having your arm up here, which may not always be appreciated by your neck and shoulder joint. So having some support can be quite helpful here. So laying on my left side here. So we have a couple of options. You're going to extend your bottom leg. You can either bend your top leg and put it in front of your bottom leg or behind. It is really a comfort thing. One isn't better than another. So you could try both and kind of see. And then you're going to take your top arm and just have it rest somewhere on your leg. So I don't want you here, this round your shoulders forward. We want our shoulders stacked and our hips stacked. So I'm going to really flex my bottom left foot. And then from here, I'm going to lift this left leg up and then come on back down. So this is a pretty small range of motion. If we contrast it to the 2 standing exercises we did, we're not moving very far here. So we really have to make sure that we are going slow, in particular on the way down. So as you come up, you don't want to just drop your leg down. You want to control that lowering. You want to try to keep this leg as straight as you can. You know, I'm generally not encouraging locking your knee joints, but in this case, like a tiny little micro bend. And then you want to try to have that foot be like the inside of your foot is parallel to the ceiling here. So you may find that your toe starts to point up. You want to keep it flat. One more here, up and down. Okay, we're going to switch sides. So you could roll over, or in my case, I'm just going to turn to the other side. And get yourself situated. Again, some support under your head. And then, you know, you could look different on this side. Maybe this hip prefers the leg in front and the other leg prefers the leg in back. Up to you. Flex that foot and then go ahead and lift up. And so same things will apply on this side. We're trying to keep just that little baby micro bend. You're trying to keep that foot really flat and parallel. Like you could even potentially imagine here that there was a yoga block balanced on your foot so that again, it's not tempted to rotate up. If you rotate it up with a yoga block, then that block would fall off. So again, small range of motion, but hopefully you're feeling this. Now you might feel it up high by your groin. You might feel it more in like the belly of the muscle, the kind of the middle. You might feel it all the way down by your knee. It is a very long muscle here. So depending, you might notice it in a different spot here. Last one, up and down. Okay, so we are going to push ourselves up. And we're going to, for the final exercise, we're going to do a core focused exercise. And I figured we should do something that involves a little bit of upper body, just because sometimes it's nice when we haven't done a ton of other upper body to pick a core exercise that will challenge those muscles on a day when they're not already super fatigued. So today's core exercise is going to be what's called bear. This is, I'm not going to lie, a somewhat challenging exercise. It doesn't look like much, but trust me, you will quickly see. So we're going to start on all fours. Now we're not going to stay on all fours, but if you're somebody whose knees are sensitive, you may find it helpful to just have a pillow or a blanket, underneath your knees. So we want to make sure that fingertips are spread out on the floor, and we've got shoulders over elbows over wrist, stacked up nice and tall. You're going to tuck your toes underneath you. This is often much easier without shoes. And the exercise is going to start by me lifting my knees. It's not going to look like much. We're going to come up in 2 and 1. So here we are in bear. It doesn't look like much. My knees are barely lifting off the ground. Here they are on the ground, here they are lifting. So I'm not like way up here. I just want essentially enough room to get a piece of paper underneath your knees. And then you are actively pushing the floor away. So don't let yourself sink down. You want to push up and away. You want to be gazing between your hands. You're not looking back down at your belly and your knees. You're not looking forward. You're nice and neutral. We're going to take a deep breath in here. This can be hard. We're going to exhale out. We'll do it one more time. Big inhale and expand. Exhale out and release down. Okay, done. So here, 2 standing, 2 laying exercises. We got all our major muscle groups and our legs covered. You may decide that was enough for you today. Okay, I'm done. Check the box. Great. Some of you may feel like you could go back to the beginning and repeat that circuit again. So I'll welcome you to, add, multiple sets of this, or again, pair this with one of our other videos in our digital library. So thank you all for joining today. Hopefully it felt good to get those legs a little bit stronger, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.